Negotiations. The Morrison government has signed an historic trade deal with India, reducing our economic dependence on China.
Yeah, the agreement will benefit both farmers and everyday Australians, with the majority of export tariffs scrapped and most of India's imports entering the country duty-free. For more, we're joined by Matthew McCulloch from Langmile Winery in South Australia. They make a great Shiraz there. And wool producer Ed Story.
Within days, the Prime Minister is taking his campaign to Tasmania to announce an historic free trade deal with India. Live now to our federal politics reporter Eliza Edwards, who's on the ground in Launceston. Morning, Eliza. What's the significance of this agreement?
Well, Jane, it's taken a decade of negotiations to get to this point, and I'm told there was a last-minute diplomatic push to get this deal with India over the line before the election is called. It's also a significant step to diversify our export markets and reduce Australia's economic reliance on China. It's expected to boost exports by up to $15 billion a year. That's because tariffs on a range of products like wine and wool will be dramatically slashed. So it is a big win for farmers, but not everyone benefits. The beef and dairy industries have been left out of this interim agreement.
If us including beef and dairy was just a step too far at this stage. Meat and Livestock Australia very supportive of this agreement.
Jane, the Prime Minister has chosen the agricultural region of northern Tasmania to announce this free trade deal. He'll be campaigning here in the ultra-marginal seat of Bass this weekend. It's one the Liberals are desperate to hang on to, while opposition leader Anthony Albanese sells his aged care policy on the New South Wales Central Coast. We're expecting the starter's gun to fire on the official election campaign within days.
Welcome back. After more than a decade of protracted negotiations, Australia and India will today sign an interim free trade agreement. Tariffs will be eliminated immediately on 85% of Australian exports, with the agriculture and resources sectors the big winners. Trade Minister Dan Tehan joins us now. Minister, thank you for your time. I want to start with the industries that aren't part of this deal. Why have the beef and dairy industries been excluded?
Look, for India, if us including beef and dairy was just a step too far at this stage, and it wouldn't have got through the Indian cabinet. Now, we'd spoken to our industries about that. They understand. And when you look at our beef industry, for instance, what we've been able to do is make sure that we can get sheep meat and goat meat into India. We get a zero tariff immediately. So we always have to weigh these things up. With the UK FTA, we were able to get a very good outcome for our beef industry. So Meat and Livestock Australia, very supportive of this agreement, as is the Minerals Council. It's a great win for Australia, gets us access to the largest, fastest growing economy in the world, and we'll see our exports, we estimate, go from roughly 15 billion at this stage to 45 billion over the coming decades.
How comfortable are you, though, with the timing of this deal, with doing a deal with India at a time when that country is not being very vocal at all about Russia's invasion of Ukraine? Is it sending the right message?
Well, we have to make sure that we set up our nation and our region for the future, and that's why this deal is not only great for our economy but very good strategically. We understand the current position that India finds itself in. It's got China on one border, a nuclear-armed Pakistan on the other, and obviously historically through the non-aligned movement have sourced a lot of their military hardware from Russia. They have called for peace, and Australia's position is very clear. We want peace as well, and that the best way we can get that peace is by Russia withdrawing. What it's doing is illegal, it's immoral, and the best thing they could do is abide by the UN Charter and withdraw all their troops from Ukraine at this time.
But India obviously has a closer relationship with Russia than we do, so shouldn't we be using our relationship with India to pressure them, to pressure the Russians?
Well, obviously we have a lot of chats, a lot of talks with India. We explain where we're coming from. They explain their current position. But one of the things about this agreement, and it's at India's behest, is being called a unity agreement, is it allows us to be able to grow our relationship even closer with the largest democracy in the world. And it means that as these geostrategic challenges continue to confront us, and especially in the Indo-Pacific in our our region will have that very close partnership with India to be able to deal with these challenges that we face. So over the longer term, the medium term, we've got to look at what our overall national interest is, and having a closer relationship with India, the world's largest democracy, is absolutely paramount.
We know that a lot of our exporters have been suffering because of the sanctions from China. How far will this deal make up for that? And how will it benefit regular Australians?
Yeah, it will help in a big way. So, for instance, for our wine industry, we get preferential access into the Indian wine market that no other country enjoys. For our wool exporters, they get the tariff eliminated immediately, and India is one of our largest export destinations for our wool. Sheep meat, our coal, 0% tariff for coal. All those critical minerals and rare earths which are going to be so important as we decarbonise, that go into e-batteries, into e-cars, all zero tariffs into India. This will see our economy continue to grow, our exports continue to grow with India, up to $45 billion worth of exports we're predicting by 2035. So it's a major win for us, and most importantly, 1 in 5 jobs in Australia are reliant on exports, and it's 1 in 4 jobs in regional Australia. So deals like this underpin our economic future.
And it's great timing for your government, just a week or so out from an election campaign being called. Minister Tehan, thank you for your time. Charles.